Yeah, hi everybody, my name's Travis Compton. Who here uses Zoho Desk currently? All right, so probably less than half. All right, that's good. So I'm going to be talking about the multi-channel customer support side of things. That's what Zoho Desk is built to do. That's kind of what the great benefit of Zoho Desk is. So why multi-channel? What is multi-channel? It's not just a buzzword that will put everyone to sleep, but it's actually something functional. So your customer is at the center of all these different types of channels, right? And if your customer is anything like me, they probably don't like talking to you on the phone. They probably prefer something more impersonal, like a chat or an email. And if they are on the phone, they're upset because they have to listen to the robots and the music and go down the robot tree path. And it's just a miserable experience for everyone. So maybe they prefer to chat you or reach out on social media, which is weird, but people like to do it. So if your customer is in the center of things and they're using all these different channels, you should be too. You should be open to having a chat with them on your website. You should have the tools to be able to do that. You should be open to emailing with them, talking with them over the phone, whether they're calling you or you're calling them. You should be able to talk to them on social media. You should have forums. You should have all this stuff. But this now presents you with a new challenge, which is, well, you have all these different channels. How can you be accessible and available across all these different channels? And that's what Zoho Desk is trying to make easy for everyone here. So some of the key things that we're doing with Zoho Desk that are super important with customer support, contextual awareness. And this means knowing all the past interactions your customers had with you, understanding who they are, their value to your company, because as we all know, certain customers are ultimately more valuable to your company. If they're spending more, you probably want to give them a little more attention than someone that has spent very little with your company, or maybe someone that has not spent any money at all. It's easier to get a customer that has bought with you before to buy again than it is to acquire a new customer completely. So you need the information on the customers that are coming in and just on everyone that's calling your support and trying to get help. Understanding who they are, where they're coming from. 73% of customers say valuing their time is the most important part of customer service. This is really no surprise. If anyone has been on, I have to pay my PG&E bill through a series of strange issues. I have to pay it through the phone, and it's a very bad experience every time because I have to tell them multiple times that I will accept the convenience fee multiple times as the robot reads the whole thing to me and I'm screaming at the phone, which doesn't do anything, and then I'm pressing the one button to get past it because I know I pressed the one button twice and the four button twice, and then I get to actually pay my bill, right? It's a miserable experience because my time is not being respected. I just want to give you money. Please let me give you money, please. Now, this is of no surprise, and this graph is also not that surprising, but the data bears out what we all inherently feel, right? So efficient support equals happier customers. What this graph is it's about the first contact resolution rate. Do we know what this is? Are we familiar with this term? Fairly self-explanatory. When someone reaches out to you, the quicker you can solve their problem, the happier they are. So the FCR rate, which is first contact resolution, right? The quicker you're solving something, the more you can see their customer satisfaction is going up. This is no surprise. And of course, this isn't always a measurable statistic for everybody in terms of, like, say, email. Like, what is the first contact with email? Because it's almost like it's a one-way communication, and then it comes back, then it comes back. The industry standard is within 3 emails, you want to solve something, and that's considered sort of the first contact for email. What all this is saying is solve things quickly, solve things conveniently, and you will have happier customers. Now, as a designer, because I do some design work for the company, I made these shirts, for example. I know that self-service is a huge part of customer support because I work with a lot of Adobe software, and Adobe software tends to not really have great support in it, but they have legacies of forum posts and people solving their own problems. So when I have a problem or when I'm trying to figure something out with my Adobe software, I can rely on self-service to handle that, right? I just Google what I approximate as the issue. I find forum posts or I find stuff in a FAQ about what I need to do, and I solve it much more quickly. And self-service is increasingly one of the most popular forms of support across every company. Like, there's a lot of emphasis and time being put into building these systems and these databases that hold legacy problems and legacy solutions. Also, the right tools to improve is something we want to do with Desk here, right? So say your support seems to be going smoothly. How do you know that you are having an efficient support process? It might seem like you're solving things quickly, but are you actually? Can you get a bird's eye view of what you're doing here? That's very, very important. And then friction. Are we familiar with the term of friction? Not the physics concept, of course, but the customer support term of friction, are we? No? Yes? No? I see somebody saying no. I'll take it. So friction is when I am having a problem with your product or service or whatever it is. That's a moment of friction, right? It's slowing down my time that I'm spending with this product. It's slowing down my overall success period with this product. So that's a point of friction, right? I have a problem. Now if I have to call you and I put on hold for 15 minutes, that's another point of friction. I'm chatting you. I'm waiting for you to respond. That's more friction. So we want to minimize that friction, right? Respecting time, making things as quick as possible. So these are the three roles. I'm going to go into Desk in a second here and start working through things. But I'm going to be assuming these three roles: customer, the agent, and the manager. But I'll let you know when I'm switching between these views. And this is fairly self-explanatory. This is kind of the visual representation of escalation. Are we familiar with escalation? Customer support, very basic, right? Your customer ideally can solve things at the bottom level. They don't have to go up to the agent level. Hopefully they can self-serve and handle things on their own and stay down here. Unfortunately, sometimes they may need to reach out to you and solve a problem. That's escalating to the agent level. Not that big of a deal, fairly common. But then if it escalates further to the manager level, you know you have a problem. With Comcast, if you want to get anything done, you kind of just imagine that this middle level doesn't really exist. That's not a good support process. And the first level doesn't really exist, right? So just assume that you're going to be talking to a manager if you want to get anything done. Ideally, you're not escalating up to this level. So we have tools to help you on this level in Desk as well as on this level and this one. So that no matter the escalation level, we're always trying to bring it down, simplify, and smooth things out. So let me get into Zoho Desk. So for the purpose of this demo, I'm going to be using a fake business that me and some colleagues built. It's called Out of Line Design. So it's a design agency, and this is the website that we have built. It's likely that if the customer bought something from your website, when they need help with something, they're probably going to go back to your website to look for that support, to find those channels, to reach out to you. So on our website, we've built a bunch of different things, and up top we emphasize very importantly the support, right? The customer support portal. So if you need help, we have a portal. We also have a live chat module on this site that's always on that people can click on and reach out to you, but I'm going to show you the support portal. So I'm the customer. I bought something from Out of Line Design, or I had some of their services, whatever the case may be, and now I've come here to get support. So let me click on the support tab and go into the portal. So this is a portal that you will get automatically with Zoho Desk. Yeah, this is the kind of the basic portal, bare bones. You can customize this as much as you want. I've seen portals that look nothing like this. They have all the functionality, of course, but they're customized with HTML to look completely different and white labeled for the business that it was a part of. Really convenient. But as a customer, I come here and I have a bunch of different options right away, right? You're seeing all the different channels here. I can click here and add a ticket. And this is basically, I'm going to fill out a form, and I'll do this in a moment. I'll fill out a form, send it, and then get a response in some amount of time. I can view all of my tickets. So if I'm a customer and I have an ongoing account with this business, I sign in, view the status of my current ticket, past tickets, interactions, see what managers I worked with. I also have a knowledge base. And this is something that's really useful for me as a designer. The knowledge bases at Adobe, for example, are constantly growing and refining and getting better. And they have the tools to see how those things are getting better, and I'll show you that. And then I also have the community. And so this is a forum, right? We're familiar with forums. An old technology, but something useful. So people can post here. The community can interact and respond to each other. Here we have a couple example posts that are just welcome posts, basically. So in this business, the forum, not that poppin', not that useful. But I'm going to add a ticket. You also see the call. You can call us. We have our phone number here. Email us and chat us. So this is the live chat that I was talking about. So you have a bunch of different ways the customer can choose how they want to interact to make this more convenient for them across the board. But I'm going to add a ticket. So let's say my name is, I'm a customer named Vince Staples, and my email is vincestaples@mailinator.com, right? And my subject, remember, this is a design company. We design websites. We help build websites as well. We also do logo design, t-shirt printing. So let's just say I was sent the wrong shirt. I ordered a shirt and it was the wrong one. My shirt was the wrong size. All right, and I can classify this as a question, feature, problem, and you can customize these fields on the back end as an agent or a manager, and then prove that I'm not a robot, which one day the robots will figure out this trick. I'm still waiting on it. Maybe they're not that much of a threat. All right, so it has sent the ticket, right? So now that's the customer side of things. I could have called, I could have chatted, I could have done whatever, but I chose to send a ticket through the customer portal. Now I wait. As an agent, let's get into Desk. So right now I'm the agent. I'm probably going to spend most of my time in the ticket screen. I'll explore that in a second, but I want to give you guys a general overview of each of these modules. So tickets are where tickets are, right? The KB stands for knowledge base. Let me jump in here. This is where I can add and edit articles. Customers is a list of all of our customers, and from here you can jump into each one and view tickets and stuff. I'll show you that in a moment. Tasks, these can be assigned to specific agents. They can be related to customers so that on the record of a specific customer, it says we had this meeting about this person. These agents were involved. For example, we have one here. Let's talk about the best way to handle this ticket, and it's pertaining to Vince Staples. So this customer that I just was has written in before. We have a history with this person. So we can click into that task and say, okay, let me get rid of this, no. Okay, so yes, we have a phone call that we have prepared, and we have assigned it a specific time on a specific day, and the priority for this is high, right? And you can comment on this as an agent. I'm playing the agent of David Angus, who is also a manager. We can add comments here. We can also attach documents. This is task useful for just kind of organizing your day. If you're a manager and you're saying, all right, I need to meet with these people, you can give them notifications built into tasks, things like that. Reports, that's where we keep reports. Not a surprise, I'll go into that as a manager. The community tab, this is where you would handle your forums. Like I said, not a very popular forum. And then social. So if I'm an agent, and maybe I'm an agent that's been assigned to handling social media specifically. If you're a company that does a lot of work on social media, there are a lot of different little smaller businesses that sell things primarily and market things primarily through their Twitter or Instagram. All of these posts and mentions will be collated right here. This is one of the robots reaching out, right? So this, we built this fake Twitter account that's associated with this account. And some people have said, oh, thank you for the recent engagements in the last week. We have never talked to anyone with this fake Twitter account ever. The robots are trying to get our attention and break in. We ignore that, but it shows up here, right? Because they mentioned us, because they're trying to reach out to us. Oftentimes, like I said, you'll see it on Twitter where someone's yelling at United or Comcast or whatever other terrible company. And it helps to know when someone's mentioning your name so you can quickly reach out to that person and respond to them. And you can do that right from in Desk. So if I hit reply, it's going to give me the opportunity to reply. And this is plugged into my Twitter account, so I don't have to jump over to Twitter and handle multiple tabs to do that. I can reply straight from in Desk. Super convenient. And then chat. So chat has its own live chat function. On the website that I showed you, we have Sales IQ, which is sort of like this chat, but souped up. Has way more options, way more abilities in it, and you can do a lot more stuff with it. But if you didn't want to get all the way into that and start customizing Sales IQ for your website, we have a live chat built into Desk that you can use for the purpose of giving you multiple channels. Basic chat is in this. Tickets. So this is where agents are going to be spending most of their time. So this is the ticket screen. And typically when I'm using a support software, this is how it's going to be displayed. All the tickets that have come in are going to be shown like this. And this was designed off the traditional format of email, right? A message comes in, you respond to it, it goes out. But that's not the best way to handle things as a support agent. Like I said, some customers matter more. it helps to have context for who you're talking to. And so to that end, we've built a couple different views up here. For example, the handshake mode. If I click that, it separates this into a Kanban view. And you can see we have 3 different categories here. We have customers, contacts and leads, and just new. So how does it know who's a customer or not? People aren't buying through Desk. Well, I've plugged this into the CRM. So any customer that it recognizes name or email of, it's putting in this category. So naturally, I know as a support agent, okay, I probably want to help these people first. It's easier to get them to buy again. They kind of matter more to the company. They're already customers. They're loyal. I should probably deal with all the tickets in this area first. And then contacts, leads. These are people that you've had an interaction with, but maybe they weren't ready to buy, or they just have a question. Remember, I could define something as a problem or a question or a feature. Just a second. That's where these people would go. And then these are people that are just, they're on the internet having fun, sending support requests to companies. These are just people that are completely new. You don't know them in any way. So they probably matter a little bit less than contacts and customers. So you have the handshake view. And you also have things like countdown mode. So different tickets, maybe you have an SLA with somebody. This is just a contract saying I will support you within a given amount of time that you might have with a big customer. So if you have a huge customer and you can tell them, okay, anytime you send a support request, we'll have that resolved within 2 days, whatever it is. It will automatically assign a time to those tickets, and you can sort these things in the countdown mode. So you can look at things that are overdue, right? So these tickets are overdue. You definitely want to get those out the door. These ones are due soon, 6 hours or more, and you can customize the time here. And then no due date. So that means if you have a support agent that just helps mitigate or handle things, maybe a manager might do this, assign tickets, figure out when things need to be done and turned in. Maybe they're just looking at this column and handling that out, meting tasks out, handling things on the back end. So you would look at each ticket, determine how important it is, see if it's a customer, see if it's, like I said, we're a design agency, so we do things that are technical, like web development, but also things that are artistic, offend web developers, that are like logo design. And so you could say, okay, I have a specific support agent that handles technical issues versus artistic issues. Then you could assign those to those specific people, right? So just different ways to sort these tickets, which is really cool, and it's something that only Desk has right now. It's much more convenient than just having a big list of tickets that are constantly updating and burying other tickets. I'm going to show you his priority. So similarly, this is just a way of organizing things, figuring out which tickets are the most important. You can go into a ticket and determine what is the priority of this ticket. Does it need to be done quickly? Is it based on a customer? And then you can set that in the ticket. So this is enough talking about what we can do with tickets. Let's actually look at one. So here's the one that I just submitted. Remember? I put this in the web forum in the customer portal. So let's go into that. Oh, also, this is kind of cool. Notice, this is in a high priority column. Why would that be? Because I built a rule for whenever someone named Vince Staples writes in, I will automatically prioritize that ticket as high. So I've determined Vince Staples is, based on his email address, an important customer or an important client, whatever the case is. And whenever a ticket comes in from that person, it's a high priority ticket right away. So let's look at that one. So to explain this screen here, right, we have the modules up here. I don't want to get lost. I know it's kind of, everything's white. On the left, we have a stack of tickets. These are all the different tickets in the high priority column that we just saw. We've put those to the left. Over here is information about Vince Staples, the customer, information about the person that wrote in. In this case, he is a customer. And then the ticket itself. So subject of the ticket, sent wrong shirt, information from the ticket, my shirt was the wrong size. And over here is pretty cool. So this is automatically assigned to Ivan Drago. This is one of our agents. So I can click on, this is automatically assigned to Ivan Drago. Why? Why is it assigned to Ivan Drago as opposed to, say, someone like David Ingus or Bessie? Because I built a rule. Again, you want to, with the contextual awareness that Desk gives you, you want to build tickets around people. You want to build your support processes around people because that's who you're dealing with. It's not just a customer that has a dollar amount, right? It's someone that, if they're writing in often, it helps to give them a point of contact. This is the same idea with account managers and sales. If I have an ongoing relationship with a company, for example, when I order these shirts, I have an account manager that I talk to, and they're my one point of contact with that company. So they know me, and we talk about paddleboarding, which I don't do, but she likes to talk to me about that, and I say, very good. And I can have this conversation and this rapport with someone, and I know that they can get things done quickly. I can put my faith in them, and it's really convenient to have that singular person. So I made a rule up here in the settings area, assign/route, right? I made a rule that says whenever Vince Staples writes in, assign it to Ivan. That's his guy. That's his support guy. And I can change that here. If Ivan's out, I can assign to somebody else for the day, but that's not going to break the rule, of course. So let's just close that ticket really quickly and move out. And you can also see here, so remember, it's multi-channel. So it would be very inconvenient if we have Desk and we have all these different tabs that you have to go to explore social media tickets only versus call tickets versus email tickets. That would not be a great way to use this, right? So we collate all that stuff in this one ticket screen, and we let you know where it's come from. So you can see this has come from a web form. See this little globe here, right there. This has come from Twitter. So we can click in there, and much like before, we can respond directly in this. We don't have to go to Twitter to respond. And this is also something that's really cool. So let me go to Mickey Rarton. I wonder who that is. And then, so we're here, right? We're now looking at this other ticket from Vince Staples. He's written into us on Twitter, so he's using multiple channels to reach us, and to us, it all looks fairly similar. We see signifiers that it's from these different channels, but really we just want the problem so we can solve them. The channel shouldn't be a factor in determining whether we can respond to them or how quickly we can respond to them. So here, if I click reply, you see this column here change? So it's reading the subject of the ticket and the content of the message, and it's suggesting 2 articles from our knowledge base. So as a consumer, maybe I don't know that you have a knowledge base that I can use. It still should be of some use to your agents, right? All this time and work has been put in on refining this thing, this big database of information. If the customer doesn't see it, I as the agent should still be able to use that, or at least maybe I don't know the answer to this question they have, this problem they have, and the knowledge base does. It'll instantly suggest a couple articles based on the reading of the words in the ticket and the message, and it'll say, hey, maybe these solve this person's problem. I can click on them, look at the knowledge base article myself, and I can instantly link them, just share the link to this article in the ticket itself. So I know this one applies, I've shared the link, and then I can post tweet, instantly reply to them. I can personalize it a little bit, say, hey, thanks for writing in. I can customize this. I think this article solves your problem. Check out our knowledge base in the future. Really convenient right there. And Desk is doing some of the heavy lifting for you, which is very nice. Okay, so that's kind of where the agents are hanging out, right? You have different ways of viewing the tickets over here with the Kanban views, the handshake mode. I showed you all this stuff. You also have different ways to break them up on the left here. So I can look at just the tickets assigned to me. I can look at tickets that are overdue only, maybe some chats that have come in that I've missed. SLA violated tickets, so this would be a very important factor, right? If I have an SLA with somebody, that's an ongoing contract. If I violated that contract, that's not good. That's going to be a problem for our future relationship. I need to work on that. So this is where the agent's going to spend most of their time, in this area. And you have notifications to let you know what you need to be doing or things that are happening around the company that you should be aware of. And this is the screen that agents are going to be hanging out most in. Different ways to cut and slice this data. It does a bunch of cool stuff within the ticket itself, but where a manager is going to go. Also, to prove that the CRM is integrated here, right under Vince Staples is CRM. If I click on that, it's showing me all the information related to this person, pulling all that from the CRM. So if you remember when I filled out that form, I didn't put in any of this information. I put in the name and email, and that's it. But it's pulling in the address that we know from CRM, the phone number, things like that, any potential deals I have. So this one, a closed one, remember this is, you asked how does it know it's customer? It's looking at this right here. It's seeing that it's in the closed one, and we've said if it's in a closed one category, make this person identify them as a customer. Other notes, so we have a note on Vince Staples in dealing with this person. Likes to be referred to as Big Vinny, and always in all caps. Also, he seems to be a bit insane. Okay, so this is kind of what we're dealing with. And also, if you have a note in here that says not ready for a deal now, but opportunity in a couple months, as a support person, okay, this is a potential deal that even though I'm not a salesperson, my rapport and my time with this person might influence whether they make a deal with us in the future. And they may very well do that based on this note that was put in just a couple days ago. You also know not to refer to them to a salesperson after the support process that was good or anything, right? You already have information about this person. You know what they want, and you know where they're going in the future. You don't need to try and move them to sales or upsell or anything like that. So the knowledge base is very convenient for agents. Your agents are your kind of experts on what the customers are dealing with. Specifically, if they're having customers that come in and are having the same problem over and over, you can tell them, hey, go to the knowledge base module up here and write an article about it. Publish that and see how it does. Maybe in the future, this will mitigate all the people from coming in and give them a easier self-service option as opposed to just writing you over and over. And you can see how popular certain articles are here too. So you can see this one's been viewed 24 times. 2 people have liked it. 16, 6, 9 times, right? So you can see that stuff. Jump into this article, edit it, write on it. You'll see comments that are posted on it from other support agents or managers. And you can work solely on your knowledge base if you want for better self-service. Now, what if I'm a manager, right? All this sounds good from the agent side of things. But if I'm a manager, I probably want a higher bird's eye view of what's going on here. And this is why I would go to the report section. So the report section, let's scroll a little bit. There we go. Okay, so this is the reports view. You can look at individual reports on this side, different dashboards, but overall, right now it's giving me the total dashboard, right? The big picture dashboard. Right when you click into reports, that's what it's going to default to. And I can have it slice up data in different ways. Say, give me a big dashboard that is filled with different reports based on data from the last 30 days, 7, current week, whatever the case may be. So let's look at some of what's happening with this company right now. Right away, we're seeing this report that is just talking about incoming and outgoing tickets, how quickly we've closed them. And so this looks all right, right? We have very few new cases coming in. We have 20 closed tickets total just the other day, so that was a very productive day. But look at our backlog. That's not great, 48. Let's look at our backlog. Maybe it's not that great. Maybe we're actually doing very poorly is what's happening, and no one's writing in because everyone's given up on us. You can turn off this data on and on, so you can see this is how many, see the blue bars? That's how many we're closing versus our backlog. A very bad job being done at this company, as you can see. And then you can come down here and see some other stuff. This is really useful, traffic analysis. So, like I said, sometimes a company might have a social media manager and a social media support manager, and they might handle things only on social media. Does that make sense for your company? You can find that out really quickly here. As you can see, we've only had 1 ticket in the last 7 days come in from Twitter. So clearly, social media not big at this company. However, we've had 4 from the web being a web form, like the one that I just submitted using Vince Staples' name, right? You can look at resolution time. Again, very, very slow. Why might this be? Because we have so many tickets in the backlog. And then happiness ratings. No one's rating us because we're not closing tickets. So you're getting this overall view as a manager. And then there are also a bunch of reports. If you click on this little reports button down here on the left, bottom left, see that? You can look at a whole bunch of individual reports. And this is pretty cool because all these things, I've tried to present reports before, reports the graded project or product that we offer, Zoho Reports. I'm not great at building reports, so when I was making dummy reports for that, it was not a great presentation, right? Conveniently, however, this builds a bunch of reports for you off the bat. So it takes all the data, and because we're structuring this data in something like Desk, where it knows what channel it's coming in from, it knows who customers are, it knows who are customers versus those that aren't, it can slice and dice this data and automatically build a bunch of these things for you right away. So I didn't build any of these, all of these reports here. Tickets by priority, tickets by mode, products by ticket, all this stuff is built on its own. So let me show you customer happiness for agents. So whenever I send out a ticket, and if I close it, it's going to then say, hey, we closed this ticket with you. Thanks for helping us out. You can customize that message. And it's also, if you choose this to be the option, it's going to send out, hey, rate, how was your support experience? So we can automatically see, based on our agents, we only have 2 agents in this account, Ivan Drago and David Ingus. You can see how their support ratings have been. So you can see 88% overall for your company is happy, and then 12% are upset. So right away, you can jump in and say, okay, well, I want to see people We're very happy with our support. What happened there? I clicked on the little happy guy, and now I'm seeing all the tickets associated with Ivan Drago. And I can see, okay, so what went well here? How did they get this happiness rating? Were they responding quickly? The point is, I could click on this. That's the ticket that this happiness rating is associated with. I could click on that and very quickly see, okay, this person's quite happy. I can also find out, I can look at an overall pie chart of the tickets by contact, so I can see who are the people that are most often reaching out to support. And I can then drill down on that pie chart and look and say, okay, Vince Staples, for example, we've seen him write in 3 times. We've seen his name more than anyone else. We have an inkling that this person's writing in often, but is there a report I could look at that backs that up? Of course, we have one of those that is built right away. So, tickets by contact. And so right away we can see, yes, indeed, Vince Staples has written in around 4 times, and these are all of our other people that have written in. We have another popular customer named Juan David. And then from there, we can, of course, drill down and see what tickets have they written to us. In this case, I've chosen a guy named Barry King. He's written us 1 ticket. If he had written us more, they'd all be down on this side of the screen. So it's really giving you different ways to view this data and look at it. But these are the things I want you to leave this room with, not just how you can use Desk, but also just some general rules on what makes good support. We just had Christian talk about some of that in terms of communication, and this is more structural, right? We're talking about minimizing friction, so getting people in and out as quickly as possible, having a good self-service portal. If people don't have to reach out to you, if they don't have to call you, chat you, social media you, whatever the case may be, they're going to be happier. Knowing your customer, so when someone calls in, when I call in Comcast for the 15th time and I have to tell them my name and then they say, great, Travis, great to talk to you, let me transfer you. And then they transfer me and I wait 5 minutes and they say, hey, who is this? And I say, well, it's Travis, why don't you know that? That's not great, right? Keeping this content and all this information in a single place is really useful. Just transferring that, so if I were to assign this ticket to a different agent because I'm going to be taking the weekend off, that agent shouldn't have to be, hey, who are you? What's going on? What's your problem? They have all that information associated to me in a single ticket. And they also have the history of my entire interaction with this business within Desk. That's really important. And then the right tools to improve through good reporting. You can build your own reports or use a bunch of the pre-made ones, and that ultimately equals better support.